A while back, my wife was speaking to someone in charge of a youth ministry, and this person was lamenting about the fact that so many of the church youth at this ministry spend so much time and effort pouring into. Many of them will still end up walking away from the faith once they head off to college or university. Was there anything that this ministry was doing wrong? Well, afterwards, as my wife and I were talking about this privately, we both came to the conclusion that no, they weren't doing anything wrong. Besides, those who are primarily responsible for teaching young people about God, it's not a youth ministry. It's not a Sunday school teacher or a youth pastor. It's not even the main pastor. Those who are primarily responsible for that task are the parents. And yet I find so many Christian parents these days who seem to think that as long as they drop their kids off once a week at youth group, or maybe even send them off to Christian school, then, well, they've done their duty. But that goes completely against the grain of Scripture. For example, in the Old Testament, ancient Israel, it was a theocracy, meaning that all of their culture and society revolved around their religion. And yet, the parents were commanded in Scripture to be diligent, to teach their own children about the things of God. Now, of course, teaching our kids, raising our kids to know God is no simple task. I mean, it's not like in the Christian movies where you see the kids sitting quietly as their parents read them the Bible. That never happens in our house. And actually, I would say that that's one of the easier things. The hardest part is, as parents, living out the Scriptures in front of our kids. Because the sobering truth is, we just may be the only Bible that our kids will ever read. Now, that doesn't mean that we have to be perfect. I'm far from perfect. I agree with Plato that kids are little barbarians, and over the years I've reacted the wrong way many times to their uncivilized ways. And of course, there's no guarantee that even if we do everything right, that our kids will continue in the faith when they become adults. I cringe when I hear so many people quote the verse out of Proverbs, which says that train up a child in the way that he will go, and in the end he will never depart. And people treat that as though it's a promise, it's an open and shut case rather than a general rule of thumb. I know of various Christian parents who, from all appearances, did everything right, and yet some of their kids walked away from the faith. It comes down to free will. Now, in this video, I've been focusing upon parents having the primary responsibility for teaching their own kids about the ways of God, but they're not solely responsible. That's where youth ministries, youth pastors, Sunday school teachers, the whole church community as a whole comes into play. And coming from that angle, a while back I did a video called Why Church Youth Fall Away. And I think you'll find that very interesting. The link for that is up above right now for those of you watching this directly on YouTube. And for those watching this via Facebook, I'll put the link in the comments section below. Please continue to give my videos thumbs up, and please continue to share them. And I'll see you next Thursday.